Hello, world. It's Carlene, solo traveler extraordinaire. And this is my channel, See It With C, where I work from 9 to 5, but travel the world as if I don't. And this is the Monday meetup, where every Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, we are talking traveling and cruising. So get on in here. I hope you all had a pleasant Monday start to the week. I am still battling post, what is it called? Daylight time, saving time sleepies. So come on in. And oh my gosh, what in the TSA is going on? Let's talk about it today, as well as I dropped some content on Sunday. And we'll cover that as well. But first, let's see who's in the chat. Extra early, I was enjoying behind the scenes reading the chat scroll through. So shout out to the early Monday meetup crew. We have Nadine, who is first in the building. Now, I will say, this is what StreamYard says. I like to watch my replays on Tuesday. And what I learned is sometimes the comments don't always come all the way through StreamYard. So sometimes I'll see comments. Hope I'm not glitching. Sometimes I'll see comments like on the replay that never came through. So if you ever see me skip something, it's probably unintentionally. So hi, Miss Nadine. Thanks for being here. She says, hi and good evening, Carlene, the Monday Meetup crew. Hi, Miss Nadine. Hope everyone is having a lovely start to the week. Absolutely. Hope everyone's having a lovely start to the week. I know that it is, we are in the throes of spring break season. So hopefully y'all who are off work are having a good time, either relaxing or enjoying your time with your family. And yeah. We also have Kristen H in the building, my good Kiki IG sister, Kristen. Good to see you in here. Thanks for being here. She says, hey, Miss Nadine, and happy Monday and Monday Meetup crew. It's a thing, the Monday Meetup crew. Let's see. Folks are talking, yeah, hectic Monday. Actually, literally straight off the bat, an hour into work, the fire alarm goes off, and it was a little misty this morning. So we basically are outside hoping that the rain doesn't pour on our heads as we are doing our, I guess, quarterly, yearly fire drill. So got that out the way. I guess we don't have to worry about that for another year. I remember it was a period that I always missed the fire drills at work, and not so much anymore. I need to figure out how to get the reasonable accommodations like everybody else, because I feel like me and only a couple other people are the only ones who show up to work every day. I'm like, I need to figure out how I get a little telework situation in this mix. Anywho, hi Margaret Logan. She says, hey, and happy new week. Happy new week. Thanks for being here. Folks are speaking. Hi, Kenny. Thanks for being here, popping in, saying hello to everybody. And Kenny is making sure that y'all hit that like button. And please hit subscribe, everybody. I noticed that a lot of folks watch consistently, but you haven't hit the subscribe button just yet. So I appreciate all the views. If you all noticed on socials, I hit the 1 million views mark this weekend. This weekend. So yeah, if you just watch regularly, just hit the subscribe button. It just helps out the channel a little bit. It shows the algorithms that this is worthwhile content, that a lot of people like it, so that whenever I post something, it pushes it to everyone. So if you don't mind, either I think you can push the up button on your remote control, or you can pick up your phone and hit subscribe. But I would greatly appreciate that. Thank you, Kenny, for that reminder. DT Cruiser in the building saying good evening, see in chat. Good evening, DT. Thanks for popping by. We got Big Murph and not the little ones in the building saying I'm driving but listening in. Well, thank you, Murph, for multitasking and being here. Much appreciated. I love driving to a good live stream myself. I like driving to a good live stream, and I like walking and listening to a good live stream. So I appreciate your support. And now it's time for me to turn my fan on, because who thought in your 42-year-old life that, getting on this live stream in a hoodie was a good idea? Okay, fans, please. All right, here we go. So thanks for being here, Big Murph. Ken Hill's in the building saying, hey, happy Monday, happy crew, happy Monday Meetup crew. Oh, your birthday is next Monday. Happy birthday, Ken. Hope you are getting your celebration in. And cheers. It's another Red Wine Monday. No cruise this year for your birthday, but you are postponing your birthday festivities on Monday to come and kick it with us on the Ultimate Solo Group Cruise in June. Much appreciated. And I'm telling all your business, Kim Hill is paid in full. So he's going to actually be there. Lord willing, the planes keep rising. Ken's gonna be in the building. And yes, the ultimate solo group cruise will make up for it. And yes, you still have time to join us on the Celebrity Reflection. We have a good group of solo cruisers, or just folks who enjoy cruising. Not everybody's cruising solo. Who will be on board Celebrity Reflection. It's still time to get in on that one. There is the final payment date is coming up April 6th. So make sure you can, or you can still jump in if you don't mind paying in full. So actually, it was funny. I bought my I only had a one-way ticket to the Ultimate Solo Group Cruise. So today at work, I actually sat down and finally purchased my ticket back home. So now I'll be coming and going, because at first I was just like, and it's wild, and it's something you all should think about in these times with flights, tickets, everything. Like for instance, this weekend I am going to NYC, New York City. Yes, I'm going to NYC, and I priced Amtrak. Amtrak was $387, y'all. So just thinking about like how you're getting to and from. I've been noticing a couple times, which Amtrak has something to do with flying, but my point is related to flying. I've been noticing that it's been a little easier, particularly right now, to find one-way tickets. So find 2 one-way tickets, one going, one coming. Sometimes you might have to mix up your arrival departure airport, but you might be able to find a decent deal that way. So that's just something to keep in mind. But yeah, whenever I've made my final payment date, I usually, when I'm on cruises, or going on a cruise, as soon as I pay off my cruise, I'm immediately then looking for my flights. Like literally, I pay off the cruise, within a couple of days later, I'm buying my flights. So I was pricing the flights to Fort Lauderdale, and I was like, I'm not paying that for Fort Lauderdale, but I knew I had to get there because I'm hosting the cruise. So I bought a one-way ticket. I was like, I'm gonna figure out how to get back. And then today I kind of looked and I was like, okay, I'll pay that price to come back home. So 2 one-ways might help you versus one round trip ticket. Barnes on the Go is in the building. Lovely family. Thanks for being here. Saying, hey, see, hey, thanks for being here. Folks are wishing Ken a happy birthday. Yes, Ken, happy birthday. I also hope that you try to sneak in something special. I know you're trying to save, all your birthdayness for June, but make sure you do something nice for yourself this weekend. Kristen says, congrats on 1 million views. See, thank you. I'm like, 1 million times is a lot. Now, I would love to trade in those 1 million views for $1 million. But yeah, it's just kind of amazing to kind of conceptualize like 1 million views. Like, wow, that's a lot of eyes. And sometimes it's repeats, but like, that's a lot of eyes on you. So yeah, I am greatly appreciative that, folks watch my content, watch the channel. And we are out here in these YouTube streets. So thank you for everyone who hits play whenever you see the content, leaves comments, of course, likes, subscribes, all those good things. Ruby's baby. Well, hello. Good to see you here. Says, hey, C, hey, chat. Missed you guys. I'm homesick today. Oh, no. Please feel better. I heard a couple coworkers doing the barking cough. So I hope it's not that now. And one of my homegirls was saying that she had like a stomach virus. So it's at that time of year again, y'all. Put your precautions on. Try to protect yourselves. Washing those hands, wash your face, get the cooties off your face. Because I've been noticing there's another round of some stuff going around. And probably your immunity from the winter ick has finally started wearing off. So, get up that vitamin C intake and all your little, safety protocols to keep yourself healthy. But thank you for Ruby's Baby for being here. I hope you feel better sometime soon. Take as much time as you need. Use your sick leave, everybody, please. Kenny is telling Ken happy birthday. Yes, happy early birthday. Cheryl S is saying hi. Hey, good to see you back in the chat. Thank you all for the congratulations. Much appreciated for the little words of encouragement. It means tons to me. It keeps me motivated, keeps me chugging along. Mickey's Adventures in the building saying, hello, good night. Hello, good evening, Mickey. Thanks for popping by. And yes, hit the thumbs up. Pip Love James is in the building. Hey, from the Melanin Coaster Network. Thanks for popping in saying, hey, see, went to King's Dominion yesterday. So their season has started. Cool beans. And if you are coaster aficionados or love amusement park content, you can follow Piplip James. You also can follow the Melanin Coaster Network on all the socials. They do, I mean, they got it coordinated down to a pad. They got their shirt, they have meetup, they have a membership fee. I mean, it's a well-oiled machine over there at the Melanin Coaster Network. So, what in the TSA is going on? I don't know if y'all have been like watching socials. Now some of it, I will say, I can't figure out what's AI. I can't figure out what's an old post. But apparently in these TSA streets, it's a mess. However, I've been hearing mixed reviews. Some folks are saying, like I was in one chat and they were saying that, only about a 30-minute wait, only about 15-minute wait. Somebody was like, there's a no wait. And then I'm seeing a bunch of hooting and hollering in Houston, New Orleans, with these crazy lines. I think I saw Minnesota had like a 2-story line going on. So has anybody in the chat flown recently? And let us know, is it true or whatnot? And then, yes, this was the one I was going to hit on right here. My next piece was what happened in New York last night. Nadine says, all's good and same. Traveling at the end of the week and dreading the TSA potential issue on MIC. Sorry, I'm going to miss Carly on 328. Oh, and yes. But, LaGuardia just had a major accident last night where a emergency vehicle was crossing the runway, and an Air Canada flight collided with the vehicle, lost the pilot and co-pilot. The what is it? Reminder to buckle your seatbelt. A flight attendant was literally ejected from the plane and still strapped into her jump seat during that crash. I'm not sure what happened. If anybody knows what happened to I know the flight, the pilot and co-pilot were instantly left this earth, but I didn't hear what happened with the individuals who were driving the truck. And then that poor air traffic controller, apparently he was managing ground. I watched it a couple times I have this thing now where if anybody else does this, you watch videos on mute. I've been watching a lot of my content on mute. And then after like the third or fourth time seeing a story, I'll finally hit the unmute button to listen. So right before this, I finally listened to the playback of the not TSA, sorry. I want to keep these very separate because TSA and air traffic controller are very different jobs. But the air traffic controller was essentially managing ground operations and air operations at the same time. And allegedly was the only person in the tower. And reading more stuff, they were basically saying that even after the accident, this individual had to stay on for the rest of the evening, still managing situations. And I only can imagine like being devastated, because he was basically like, it was his fault, he felt. But yeah, so a lot happening. It's unfortunately on a weekly basis about things happening in travel. But yeah, that was kind of the story that kind of caught my ear over the last week. Either it was TSA or the incident that happened yesterday in New York City, in LaGuardia Airport. Mickey's Adventure is wishing Ken Hill happy birthday. Yes, thank you for those birthday wishes to Ken. I'm sure he appreciates it. We have some new folks to the chat. Hey, says, hello, we are new to chat and are new to vlogging. We are big cruisers, loyal to royal, but curious. Okay, open and searching. Welcome to the chat. Congrats on your new vlogging journey. We like every cruise line around these parts. So I think I just finished up a series on royal. I have a bunch of royal content currently in my roles that I need to get through. So yeah. Let's see. Tia B is in the building saying, hey, they are heading back from Orlando. Can I tell your business? I'm gonna tell anyway. They stayed at Animal Kingdom Lodge and stay at a Serengeti view room. Dopeness. So yeah, safe travels back from. And how was the Orlando airport? Because that was another one that's been coming through on the socials as being super packed and crowded. And hello, everyone, if you are just joining in. My name is Carlene, solo traveler extraordinaire. And this is my channel, See It With C, where I work a 9 to 5, but I travel the world as if I don't. And this is my weekly live stream, the Monday Meetup, where every Monday we are talking traveling and cruising. And today I am just kind of going over some of the key things I noticed in the news and travel. And then, of course, we're going to shift to covering. I released a video on my final. Actually, there's one more video, but of Margaritaville at sea, where finally the seasickness got to me. So we're going to talk about that too, because what are your seasickness remedies? But we'll finish up talking about the current news first before we get into the latest vlog. Kristen says, "Girl, that TSA foolishness has me shook. Flying of Atlanta, I'm probably going to have to be there by 3 a.m. and I need T Daddy and the crew to wrap this up by end of week." Why do you call him that? At first, I was like, "Who is T Daddy?" Oh, Lord have mercy. Yeah, I mean, I don't see an end in sight. I haven't been watching any of the negotiations, but essentially, the ICE is in Homeland Security, and to block out ICE being funded, the appropriations for Department of Homeland Security aren't going through, which means anything under that umbrella is not getting paid. So, a lot of them folks are like, well, I can go find a side hustle. Or a lot of times during shutdowns, they tell people like you can't take off, or you only can use minimum sick leave, or if you take off too much, you'll get fired. So, I think we finally hit the month mark, if I'm correct. So they finally had their first checks that they did not receive. So they finally missed, I believe I'm correct with this, they finally missed a whole check. I can't remember if it's been a month or 6 weeks, but they're finally in the range that they need to find supplemental employment if, they weren't prepared, which, is highly likely. In these days and times, many folks are living check to check to check. So they're starting to feel it and trying to find like alternative ways of employment. It gets rough when who's taking care of like childcare, all those other things. So definitely keep the TSA workers, in your prayers. But currently it is a bit of I don't want to say like a negotiation piece, but they are caught up in Department of Homeland Security's budgeting process. So we'll see how this plays out. I have not heard any updates about any end in sight. Who else we got? Nadine saying happy birthday to Ken. Yes. Marilyn Melton's in the building saying, hey, see in chat. Hey. Ruby's baby says, feeling better today. I only stayed home because it was raining. Didn't want to relapse. Oh, yes. No, I'm all for take those extra everything that you need just to be super sure that you are back on the right track. Because if you rush, trying to get over illness, sometimes it definitely sets you back. So please take all the time you need, and I hope you feel better. It's Just Jay Renee is in the building saying, hey, happy Monday. Happy Monday. Thanks for being here. Let's see. We are getting, Together We Travel. My good neighbors are in the building. On the go at Yellow. Looks like Paul's folks are rushing in. Thank you, Paul, for sending your folks over here. Much appreciated. Saying hello and happy Monday. Happy Monday. Oh Lord, now I don't take shots on this channel, because if you ever see me take a shot, I'm already 3 sheets and it's gonna be a time and not a good time. But we can definitely have a toast to Ken Hill next Monday. I have to make a note to remind myself, so I'll make sure we have like a little toast to Ken. Bring your favorite bevy. And Paul is here. Hey Paul, I was watching your live stream before having to get myself set up over here. Alrighty, so we talked a little bit about like what's going on with TSA. It's been interesting to watch. I'll kind of keep trying to see if there are any movements in regards to Congress and how they're going to fund Department of Homeland Security. We talked about the situation. Oh, okay, let me see. Oh, I'm gonna go down this part because I can see something about what I talked about. G Fox in the building. Welcome in, G. Are you on spring break yet? Shout out to the educators in the building. Saying hello and what's up, chat. Paul is here. Your good sis, Cassandra, is in the building. Thank you for being here. It's Just Jay Renee finally has, thank you for the update. She says the individuals who are driving the truck were in stable condition. Good to know. Yeah, because I finally listened to the we got a star. Hold on. Finally listened to the what is it called? The replay, the audio of the crash situation from the tower's perspective. And then I watched the video, and yeah, like it was no stopping either. I would say the truck could have stopped. So it's gonna be interesting. Like, I mean, it's gonna be one of those situations where as soon as they, are released from the hospital, they're gonna be getting a lot of questioning in regards to why did they not stop the truck. But yeah, there was no stopping that plane from coming down that runway. So thankfully, I mean, 2 lives is enough, but it could have definitely definitely have been way more disastrous. So just really started making you think about like what's the strain on the industry right now, because it just feels like a lot is going on. I want Mayor Pete to come back. Somebody bring Mayor Pete Buttigieg. He did great when he was transportation secretary, in my humble opinion. My humble nonpartisan opinion. He just was a great secretary of transportation. We got a lot of, or at least as a traveler, I would say. Now, the businesses probably did not like Pete much, because Pete was like, listen, y'all going to give these people flight credits when you're late. If the plane is broken, you need to give them a hotel. Like, he was very consumer oriented. I don't know I'm not sure if it's just like happenstance, because even I was playing golf, not really playing golf. I was at the driving range yesterday, and the driving range that I was at is right at National Airport, so you can see the planes landing. And I caught a go around. Literally, I was kind of like, that plane is coming in high, and you just see put the thrusters and went. But something even like that, where quickly off, had to change course. Caught that with my own eye, just to be waking up in the morning to hear that some individuals didn't make it from a plane crash. It's just kind of like, wow. Got a star. Who is this? Trishy's Timeless Travels. Thank you. Says $1.99 for the shot that you ain't gonna take. Yeah, I don't throw them back. If you ever see me throw something back, it ain't gonna be pretty afterwards at all. At all. Let's see. I'm sorry, I lost my spot here. Let me go back down. I was at Just J Renee. That's good information in regards to the what was I about to say? The truck. There it is. Okay, cool. Thank you for that information, because I was just curious. Everybody was just talking about the pilot, so I was curious what happened. Yellow said hello, everybody. Let's see. Trish says, hey, CFM, such a sad situation at LGA. Yeah. Because I mean, on top of just all the other things that's going on, it's just an industry that's just strained. Like air traffic controllers, you only can recruit up to a certain age. You only, it's always like a stretch on how many of them there are. And I mean, that's going to be another piece of the investigation. If this person is in the tower by himself doing ground-based and air operations. Because even in that 1 minute and 30-second clip, he's telling the truck to stop. He's giving Frontier Airlines the code of like, you're not taking off. You might as well head back to the ramp, and then he's giving like instructions to people in the sky all at the same time. So I kind of like got in the comments, and they were like, yeah, it's kind of interesting that he was handling all of that. And he just sounded like a wreck. Nadine says, sorry for the loss of lives and for the air traffic controller person. Yeah, because that stuff sticks with you. After the accident here at DC National Airport, was that last January? The one, you could hear it in the air traffic controllers' voices, because even after like an incident happens, they can't just stop. Like they can't stop and have a moment of being people, because there's like 3 or 4 other situations that they have to navigate. They got to probably tell a plane to go around. They got to tell people who are like about to taxi and take off, you're not going to do that. They got to communicate, well, now the airport's closed or there's a runway closed. So you can't even really get a moment to be a human until literally everything kind of settles down. He says, as you said, or she says, as you said, sure, they were shook and still had to work. A sad and unnecessary situation. Yeah. Yeah. Yellow says, "Oh, nice. Come on, safari room." Yeah, I was excited to hear that one. I was like, please, some of you got some pictures. Like, did you wake up, tidbit? Shanti, did you wake up with a giraffe in your window? Let's see. Two Parkers, one World is in the building. Hey, thanks for being here. Saying, hey, happy Monday. Happy Monday. Thanks for being here. Let's see. Trish says we want to do that very soon at Animal Kingdom Lodge. It's a very dope room. So let's get into kind of transitioning just a wee bit into the topic for today. Because I like to cover what videos I release. So on Sunday, I release what will be the final-ish vlog for my time on Margaritaville at Sea Islander. And that was a sea day, which I've said it before. We'll say it again. I know people always say, like, oh my gosh, can't cruise during hurricane season. Hurricane season is the least of my worries. Have you ever cruised in somewhere between November and January, sometimes February? And the waves are monstrous. So while I was sick on that sailing, I do know there were some other creators who were also out and about sailing. I feel like I think Phil and Dee were out sailing. I think they were taking a cruise. I feel like possibly MH Family Adventures. There's a few people who were like out in the cruise streets right around that same time. Maybe also Team Reach Travels. And they were just basically like, I think somebody missed the port. Somebody else was like they were rocking and rolling the whole time. So in my head, usually I'm super prepared. I used to have a whole medicine kit that I would pack for my cruises. So I would like have this extra medicine kit. And then as I started cruising more, I kind of consolidated some of the things that I bring. And because I had so much good luck in regards to like not being seasick, I didn't have a patch on me. I didn't have any of my like usual remedies. So only thing I could think of, because that was my first paid and hosted event or cruise ever. So I'm like, Lord, I can't be in this cabin. Like, I got to get out here and get this content that these people paid me for. So, at first I thought like maybe my body wasn't agreeing with something that I ate, but no, it was truly seasickness. And so what I did was I asked for a canned ginger ale. Now, the guy, this bartender was kind of like, all right, I can give you a ginger ale from the tap, which I do not recommend. If you start feeling seasick, just go ahead and bite the bullet, pay a little extra money, get soda straight from the can because it's not diluted, and go ahead and drink that. And basically drank my little ginger ale, kind of sat still for a little bit, let out a couple nice little good burps, and I was good for the rest of the day. And by that time too, like later in the day, we started finally getting closer to, we were heading to Mexico. So finally got further down enough that we were able to get to calmer waters. So my question was like, what do you all do to manage seasickness? Or do you even get seasick? Because some people don't feel anything. Some people are like, listen, I was in the Navy. That little ship rocking ain't enough to do anything. Nadine says, wonderful. The Serengeti room sounds fabulous. It absolutely does. Paul says he carries a scapoline patch just in case and ginger candy. Now, ginger candy, I don't think scapolamine. Hope I said that right. Patch. Is that the one that is, what is it called? Prescribed to you? I have found some like knockoff patches on Amazon, but the key for those is I have to put those on like early, like a day early. And I've learned that I don't have to keep them on the whole time. So I can leave them on for like half of a day, take it off, and I can still feel the same effects. I have not tried ginger candy though, which I kind of like that because it's probably easy to carry. Just throw a couple in your purse. Let's see. Charles of PMB says, what room were you in when you got sick? I was in a balcony cabin, I believe deck 6. I'm not sure. I can't remember if I was mid or I can't remember where I was on the ship. Trying to think. I wasn't too far from the buffet, so I feel like I might have been more aft. Somebody actually commented on my post and was like, the Islander, for some reason, and I don't know if it's true or not, they said it's more prone to rocking based on the design. That's what somebody said in a Facebook group, because she said like a lot of folks were getting kind of sick of her her selling. Not sure if that's true or not, but we were definitely rocking and rolling when we left Tampa the night before, and then up until like later in the day, heading down to Cozumel. I will say, speaking of room types, I know everybody wants to get the big bad balcony, but sometimes people get actually sick by seeing the water. So sometimes basically having like that interior may actually be better for you not to see the water. Like there's some people who end up getting a balcony sometimes and aren't even able to enjoy it because they can see, like, you know, they say like look out at the horizon. But so all they say like maybe an interior mid might help you. But and then Kristen's nickname is wild. Yes. So Shantia says we had a great time. Saw so many animals from our balcony. So cool. Cause I was kind of like, I'm like, Lord Jesus, please don't let them get this lovely Serengeti view balcony. I mean, view cab or not cabin, view room. And like none of the animals come out. That's good that they come out. So many animals from our balcony. Had giraffe, ostriches, wildebeest, zebras, and many more. Plus, we were flying. Plus, but we're flying out of Jacksonville. Yeah, so that's another point that I mentioned. So, I'm happy that room actually was, you know, it did its big one, because I was like, that would be wild if like none of the animals decide to pop out. But another tip in regards to right now with all the shenanigans in regards to flight prices and availability, like, you know, mixing up the airports, finding another airport. So instead of like Shantia said, like instead of going out of Orlando, may have to drive a little bit, go out of Jacksonville to from, that kind of thing, just to be sure that you actually get there. And then think about all just the different modes of transportation, like train, there's buses, like there's a variety of options for you to get to and from, as prices kind of soar. On to go yellow says that's hotel room goals. Absolutely. Absolutely. I gotta stay on Disney property one day. And I feel like I need to like congregate with all of the ultimate solo group cruisers. I'm sorry, wrong trip. Good Gov Getaway 2027, folks, because I'm like, I really want to stay at, even though I don't think this is a good resort for Epcot per se, but I really want to stay at what's the one? Is it Port Orleans? The New Orleans themed park, or themed resort at Disney. That's kind of goals, but I might save it for another trip. I don't know. But anywho. Folks are telling Ken happy birthday. Yes. G Fox is they're not on spring break until April 3rd. Noted. We got a comment from Paul. He says, is the thing with Elon paying for TSA staff real? I didn't even know. The only thing I will say about that guy is I thought he had fell back from some of the government operations, because his initial few months into the government was impacting his business. But I had not heard about that one. I do know they have asked for ICE to volunteer or be detailed at some airports. I'm debating if I'm going to travel in April or not, because my plans be parked in June, so I haven't witnessed any of the current situations. But I had not heard that at all. I haven't really heard about his name in government since kind of I don't want to say the fall, but once the Dogeness kind of simmered down, I really haven't heard his name, because I heard that his business was kind of tanking. On to go yellow. Let's see. Hi, Sheila White is saying, hey and happy Monday. Happy Monday. Thanks for being here. Folks talking about their school year. Ruby's baby says, ever since they talked about DEI hires, the travel hasn't been really the same. Our ancestors do not play. They don't play about us. Do y'all remember when all those plantations in the South started catching on fire? Like within 2 weeks, like 3 had burned down. They don't play about us. So when I say like I don't worry about all the, the things and the coming and the going and some of the rage baiting that occurs, because I'm like, at the end of the day, I know the ancestors got us real good. Nadine says 100% about Pete. Pete was a good transportation secretary. And it's wild because I didn't even pay attention to transportation secretaries. Like, I could not name a transportation secretary prior to Pete Buttigieg. But I guess because I was starting like my travel channel around the same time, and I was just like, this dude is really looking out for consumer protections. Like, particularly with the airlines cannot sneeze in the wrong direction without consumers getting paid. So I mean, I'm sure that they're not enjoying that anymore. But another piece of it is just like, are all of these accidents happen because of like dysregulation, or is the system just taxed right now? Like, what is really, or are we just more in tune because of the current state of affairs, and really these accidents do happen at the same cadence? I don't know. I just report the news. And welcome in, everybody. It's C. Thanks for coming to chat with me. This is the Monday meetup, where every Monday at 7 p.m. you have some content. And today we are talking about just kind of what's happening in the travel related. We are talking about my time on Margaritaville at Sea Islander, and how I combated seasickness. But yeah, let's get back into the chat. We have Trish says, I used to work for the FAA, so the Federal Aviation Administration. You would be surprised how many planes almost collide with less than 5 minutes to divert. Jesus. So, and it's interesting because, like, I used to take for granted when people would say safe travels. I'm like, oh, I just feel so extra, all right, safe travels. Okay, sure, and now I take those safe travels very seriously. I am wishing people safe travels now more often. And whenever people reach out to wish me safe travels, I am very much like, thank you. Because it's not guaranteed that you make it back home in one piece. And that sounds probably a little dramatic, but I mean, it's the simplest thing. Like, who would have thought, you're thinking, okay, I'm on the ground, like the worst of the flight is over. We touched down, all the wheels are on the ground. And who would have thought a fire engine is coming across your runway? I also thought that they had like cut back on some of that like unnecessary crossing, but I also believe that that fire truck was responding to an emergency somewhere else on the tarmac. So keep your seatbelts on, stay in your seats. You never know. You never know. Trish says, when I went on the National Geographic cruise, because in January, I needed a whole trash can one day. Oh my gosh. And where were y'all? Because you didn't go to Antarctica. You were Galapagos? Where were you heading? Only go with yellow says for seasickness, she wears patches, but during real rough, they don't work either. 1 foot on the floor, green apples, and ginger. All the above. Yeah. That's how I felt when I joined the Parker Fam group cruise on, what was that? Mariner of the Seas. Nothing worked except for laying down and closing my eyes. And even then I was just like, Lord, please. I have not been physically ill. Like, I've been ill enough where on a ship where I was just kind of like, I'm done for the day. I need to go lay down. I have not, released the wiggle or anything like that. G says, I never had seasickness, but for some, I can see it can be a mess. Yeah. And one of the key indicators too, y'all, is like, if you ever walk around a ship and you notice on the rails, they have barf bags, just know that is an indicator of like seas might become rough. Also, is it me? But at night, it seems like in the middle of the night, captain does 2 things. A, they turn down the air condition or turn it off. Because I can't tell you the number of cruises I woke up in the middle of the night and I'm like, why is it so hot in here? I know I intentionally set my dial all the way to the left, which is like the coldest setting. And 2, it seems like we be hitting those waves in the middle of the night. It's kind of like, okay, everybody's in bed. Let's hit these curbs so we can get down to Nassau. I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I noticed at night they definitely crank it up a notch. Paul says there was one cruise I was on, it was really bad. It got me some ginger ale and I had to lay it on down. The scapoline patch, is prescribed. So that's a prescription. Good to know. Nadine says ginger root primarily, or ginger candy, then Dramamine. Yeah. But now if I take Dramamine, I'm out for the count. Because Dramamine, Dramamine already can be make you a little drowsy. Even the non-drowsy Dramamine has a little drowsy effect to it. But when I'm on a ship, I'm typically sipping. So Dramamine and alcohol, you're going straight to bed. So I've tried not to take Dramamine. I have it in my my pouch of things, but or I'll take Dramamine at night and then hope the next day when the effects aren't as potent, I think. So take it before you lay down, versus if you take it while you're up out and about, you're not going to want to do anything. So maybe taking it in the evening just so you have the effects of the medicine, but you're not necessarily having the super drowsy effects. Seth Stone, welcome in. Says seasickness can be trash, but the only thing that helped me was just laying down with the canned ginger ale. Yep, the canned ginger ale. Do not let them bartenders try to be lazy and talk you into, oh, I'll just pour you one from the tap. No, that's watery. You need straight out the can. Seth said that was the only downside of being on smaller ships too, is that you can allegedly feel it more. I don't know. Some of these big boys and girls be rocking and rolling too. Hi, Q Swanson. Welcome in, saying, hey, everyone. Hey, Q. Thanks for being here. Your sis Cassandra says, I haven't experienced seasickness yet. However, I travel with pouches. Yeah. And if you do the pouches, you want to start the night before for sure. Wait a minute. Now, this is a new one. We have a new remedy that has entered the chat and related to cures for seasickness or how to address seasickness. Q says, laying down and eating some sunflower seeds. Q, I've never heard that one. That is unique. I wonder what it's about the sunflower seeds that kind of get you. Is the salt or, that's cool to know. Lacey says, oh my gosh, I've been laying here waiting for 7 p.m. Completely forgot I'm a hour behind everybody now. Oh, it's cool. It's cool. And Lacey, you actually reminded me. So, and going back to, I think maybe Seth Stone, talk about how all cruise ships are not created equal. So last week, Lacey asked a question about hopping on a Norwegian ship to Alaska, and I was like, yeah, girl, you don't got to do that interior. Completely forgot. Not all cruise ships are created equal in the sense of there are some ships that don't have really great sea views, like ocean views, in the sense of lounge spaces, etc. So I ended up having text Lacey, and I was like, and this is also why I like to watch my replay, because it's I get to watch what I said and then hear myself and wait, correct that. So Lacey was like, do you think I'll be cool getting on going out of Alaska, getting an interior cabin, particularly on NCL? And I was responding to her with my Celebrity Edge eyes, which Celebrity Edge had a lot of lounge spaces, didn't get really crowded, and lounge spaces that have good sea views. However, her question was related to Norwegian, which Norwegian, I was looking at a couple of ships, and I'm like, yeah, a few of their ships particularly for Alaska, I like the line. But you want to be sure, particularly if you get on interior in Alaska, you want to make sure that you get on a ship that has a lot of lounge spaces that you can sit in and enjoy the views. So I wanted to make sure, I was like, yes, sometimes, yes, save the money, get the interior, but make sure you get on a ship that has a lot of good lounge spaces, because you also don't want to be outside as much, because it can be super cold. Or in our case, it was a lot of rainy. But yeah. Hey, Lenise, thanks for being in here. Another one of our Ultimate Solo Group Cruisers in the building. Good to see you. Everybody is asking Q, what is the science behind the sunflowers? Because this is the first time we've heard this, Q. You got to explain. You can't just drop that one and leave us. He says, I found out that they recommend sunflower seeds for pregnant women with morning sickness. Okay. I ain't never been that, but pregnant women, some morning sickness. Does it work? That's interesting. And shout out to Rich and Jazzy Life there in the building saying, hey there, hope you're well. Yes, thanks for popping by, y'all. Good to see you in here. On the go, Yo says Port Orleans is nice. Cool. And Q says, no, he is not pregnant. Q, who knocked you up? It's a safe space, Q. You can your secret's safe with us. Trish says Port Orleans was nice with the boat ride to Disney Springs. I'm gonna have to put that on my like birthday list to do things. I want to stay in the Disney bubble. It's on my to-do list. Yellow says we hope not, Q. On the go, Yellow's back to talk about TSA saying traveling on Thursday out of JFK, plan to get there early. And yeah, it's been a mixed bag because some people said I arrived to the airport 3 hours early. There were no lines. Then some people were like, I got there 4 hours early and we're in the parking lot. I don't know. I guess to be early is probably the better thing to kind of depend on. I will also say make sure you utilize all the doors and gates for airport, because usually airports at some point, now there are certain places like I believe JFK, I hope I'm saying this one right. I think JFK's international terminal is disconnected from their main terminal. Can't remember. I definitely know Atlanta's international terminal is disconnected, I think. But frequently there's like another gate that you can use that is not the hub. So like I'll take DC for example. The gate, I can't remember, it's the North Gate, that because American Airlines is kind of a mini hub for DC, Gate A is usually more packed because all the American airline travelers are going through there. If you go down to the south side, the South Gate, you can clear TSA. There's usually no one in line because those are all the other airlines that aren't necessarily as much traffic as American Airlines. That makes sense. However, you go through the South Gate and you just have to walk up the concourse to get to the A gate. So I would say like try to do some investigation to see like what are the crowded gates. People were saying for like Atlanta, everybody was crowded at one main gate for I think like that Delta right by the check-in. But there are a couple other gates like that T gate. There's another gate that you could technically go through. You might have to do a little more walking, but you don't have to have that. Like you don't have to be stuck in all of that. You can find a gate that has less crowds. So you might just want to do some investigation about what are your other options. Just make sure that it's a gate that's connected to the main airport, because some of them do have international terminals that are completely separated, like to the point that you got to catch public transportation. So that might be a tip to kind of help you navigate around these interesting travel times. Who is getting threatened till you do right by me? Jesus. Folks are speaking. Hey Carol, welcome in. Trish says Baja California out of Laredo, Mexico. The second day I was pimped down, pimp in distress. Oh, that's where your expedition cruise went. Wow. And okay, I didn't realize Baja would cause that amount of waves. Kristen's about to get me demonetized saying, baby, I need to be blank for that AC to turn off in the middle of the night. I used to be pissed. Okay, there we go. And yes, they haul butt in the middle of the night. Yes. I swear that they definitely do turn off the air conditioning, lower the air conditioning. There's been a couple of cruises where like literally 3 o'clock in the morning, I got to like pull the blanket off, stick my leg outside the blanket because I'm like, I know I put this thing on extra cold and now it's extra hot. I'm also a woman of a certain age. So sometimes it do be me, but that's why I put it on super cold so I don't have those moments. Lord, I got to do the censorship. Okay, Jesus, let's see how I can get through this one. Those efforts, okay, we're in the safe zone, are turning off the air in the middle of the night, and Perry be waking up in the dying of the heat. Yes. Yola says, I got sick on Majesty of the Seas coming up the Gulf, and the Dramamine knocked me out. Yeah, I learned about Dramamine what was it? Carnival Mardi Gras. So my cousin, this is probably the first time, like, as a family, we started using YouTube channels to like prepare. So my cousin Caressa is the one, like, if anything happens on a ship, she probably has something in her suitcase for us. So it's like, your cycles start, you got a headache, you need a liquid IV, you forgot a Band-Aid, like, you go to Mimi's room because she has it there. And so she was telling us, I was like, okay, this is what you get, this is what you get. And so I packed Dramamine, and in my head, I was like, okay, I'm gonna use it. And I almost didn't make it through sail away party because I took the Dramamine and then started doing the sail away party activities that involve rum punch. And I think I was probably in bed before dinner happened or right after dinner. So that's when I learned that, Dramamine and the beverages do not mix. Let's see. Nadine says 100% on the gin jail, as my aunt likes to call it. Folks are speaking. Who's this? Paul says, I just looked up sunflower seeds are a good source of vitamin B6, which reduces nausea. Y'all better be scientists in the chat. All right, come on, Google search. We love to see it. Q knocking himself up is wild. Thank you, Miss Didi, for being here. So she's joining late, driving back home from ATL. You be safe. T Reese says, had people that showed up super early yesterday and got through in 10 minutes. Yeah. That's been, so I'm not sure if, like, are these videos from Thanksgiving? Are these current videos? Is it isolated to certain airports? I saw one map thing that had Pittsburgh, it had Houston, New Orleans, a few more, like a total of 9 airports throughout the country that were just having really crazy waits at the moment. But then, like, you'll read the comments, and I think I was on the Black She Travel something. It was like a Black girl travel Facebook group, and the longest wait that somebody commented was 32 minutes. So yeah. Again, Line says, I'm at Disney, didn't get invited on the Disney Adventure media selling. Oh. Well, all the media is out now. I was watching Trisha's videos today at work. I watched This Life of Ours video. I've watched Theme Park Express's video, and I think I watched JoJo's World's travel day video from Disney Adventure. That looks like such a different ship. I was booked on it twice and then just kept changing it. So I was booked on it I was going to do New Year's, and then I canceled, which this is learn from my mistakes. Do not cancel any of your inaugural cruises until, like, you have to actually, like, you're about to get to final payment or you're already at final payment. If you're on an inaugural cruise, just wait until, and you think you're going to come off of it, just wait until you get to final payment to cancel, because there have been several between Disney and Virgin was notorious for this. And then Carnival did it for Jubilee, where it canceled you and you got like a percentage off your next cruise. You got some onboard credit and all this kind of thing. So all I had to say was, I was supposed to be on Adventure for New Year's. I was going to do New Year's in Singapore, and then found out my friends are going to Asia later in the year. So I was like, I'm not doing that long flight twice. So I just was like, let me go to the birthday trip. But yeah, I could have just kept my reservation. And then probably after I canceled it, about 2 weeks later, they announced that the ship wasn't ready and they gave people a percentage off. So if you ever find yourself in a inaugural selling and not able to go, don't cancel yourself until right before, like, the final payment date is, or whatever the penalty period is, because the way that these ships have been delivering lately, you have a strong chance of actually, like, getting some credit or a percentage off. Kristen says people were using the international terminal in Atlanta and they got on the news and told folks to knock it off. Because don't nobody in the international terminal in Atlanta. But the only thing about doing that is, like, then you got to make a hike of a ride. So they're probably overwhelming the people mover too. But listen, when there's a will, there's a way. Travel with P. Hey, welcome in. The other Paul, travel with P says, I just got off Star of the Seas. Oh my God, it was amazing. But listen, my partner and I got proper. Ooh, it's Mr. Nasty time. Okay, let's see what's happening here. But listen, my partner and I got propositioned 3 times by straight couples. We always get hit on by couples, but this was crazy. Not on Wholesome Royal Caribbean, the swingers showing out. Ooh. It's only happened to me once. But that is wild. Was it a certain bar? I want to know. Tell me more. That is interesting. Lord have mercy. The juiciest swinger story that I've ever heard, and this is me. I was at the On the Rocks bar on Virgin Voyages, ear hustling real hard, and yeah. Let's just say dude wore the woman and the man out, and came to the bar and told us all about it. And I listened. Yes, I did. But that is wild. Not on Wholesome Royal Caribbean. Okay. Thanks for letting us know. We love a little shenanigans over here. On to go. Let's see. Miss Nadine says, likewise, I'm thinking about getting to JFK about 4 hours ahead of my schedule. Oh, Miss Nadine, you can't even check your luggage if you get in that early. So, and that's the tricky part about all of this, because literally there's a time that the airport opens. Now, you also said JFK, so I'm not sure if is that an airport that ever sleeps? But like for instance, DCA, our security lines don't even open. I believe they open up at 5 a.m., something like that. So if you get there at a certain time, there's nobody to let you in, check your luggage, etc. You're just there. So you might want to just double check the times, the opening times of everything. But JFK is also a really big international airport, so that might be the case. But they're even I remember, what was it? Orlando or a lot of the cruise ports. If you get off the cruise ship and get to the airport, a lot of times they're like, oh, you can't check your luggage within 4 hours of your flight. So you're just kind of sitting there. So just be mindful of the opening and closure times, those kind of things. It's just Jay Renee says, I arrived at 3:30 a.m. to a flight, to JFK flight that was boarding at 5:30, and I could have arrived a little later. There is no TSA pre-check until 6 a.m. at JFK, so keep that in mind. Yes. Thank you. Yeah. So some of the lines, just be careful. You can get there. And also, because a lot of our airports in major cities are trying to combat things like homelessness, loitering, they don't make it comfortable for you to sit in front of security. And they also don't want a lot of places for people to stash things. So there's literally no place for you to be, but just standing. So just keep that in mind as you make your preparations. Kristen says, not the bougie royals propositioning people. Yes. And Paul said, not once, but 3 times. They were on it. Jesus. They're working overtime. They're like, we're going to make this vacation work, baby. Travels PNB says, Dramamine makes me too drowsy. They have the less drowsy version, but it's not my favorite. Yeah. Even the non-drowsy version of Dramamine still makes me drowsy. If I ever have to take Dramamine, my strategy is I'll take it at night when I'm about to lay down. But if I take it in the daytime when I know I'm about to be out and about, partaking in all the lounges and all that kind of thing, it's going to knock me down. So if you have to take it at night. T. says we all need a Mimi on the cruise. Yes, I love my cousin Mimi. Now she's going to be overpacked. And she going to have 3-4 suitcases and they all going to be overweight. But we don't complain about it. We help her carry the luggage because it's going to be something. One of them days on a cruise, you're going to look and you're like, I got to go to Mimi's room because it's going to be something that you need. And she's going to have it. She will have it. Paul says, yes, we laughed it off, but oh my gosh, this is a spring break cruise. So we were shocked. Flattered. Yes, I mean, but shocked. Well, y'all must be too cutie patootie. You are, because I could see but you and your partner must be too cutie patooties because they were on y'all hard. Or did you have? I wonder. I don't know, because I'm like, did y'all have like a certain like color? Did you accidentally wear the pineapples and you were like, this is my tropical shirt, and they were like, that's your play shirt, like what? Or it's just like they couldn't help themselves. I don't know, but this is hilarious to me. Barnes and Noble says, I'm like your cousin. I have a whole pharmacy in my luggage. Yep. And she's a nurse. Yep. And we are cruising together in October because two of them will be done nursing school. They'll be getting their RN. And yeah, I needed them when I almost chopped my finger off on Explorer of the Seas. Like if Mimi was there, I wouldn't have had to leave that ship with a bloody finger. Like it would have been halfway sewn up and I would have been all the way together. Let's see. Yellow says, I guess I'll be at the bar flying international, so not taking any chances. Yeah. I mean, it never hurts to get there early. It's just the tricky part is when you have those early morning flights, which you're flying international, so you're probably going later in the day. But those like 5 o'clock in the morning flights, and the ticket counters don't open till 4, or the lines don't open up until a certain time, probably 4. Just have to be mindful because like you'll just be there, but you can't get through. Yellow says, staying at the theme park hotel you are visiting is a vibe. Highly recommend. All right, we got to add that to the to-do list. Trish says, baby, that cancellation gave me 50% off. Fudge. And I got my commission and automatic rescheduled me for the maiden voyage. Dang it. Yeah, I think I was like January 1st through the 3rd or something kind of sailing. It was New Year's Day. And then I think it was a 4-day cruise. I already learned my lesson about trying to do 3 days. But yeah, when my friends announced their 40th birthday trip, I canceled it. And then literally a couple weeks later, they were like, we gotta cancel. I'm like, dang it. Yes. What was that from? Mr. Nasty Time. Friday after next. Yes. Richard Jazz says, you never, ever, 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 ever cancel your inaugural cruise. They will always bless you for canceling it. Bars. Yes. Learn from me. Do not cancel your inaugural cruises at all. Even you're going to have to cancel it, just try to get out of there before the penalty period, because these new ships are just coming. All these supply chain issues, particularly it's going to be interesting in watching these deliveries with the whole situation in the Middle East. Like, how can people get back and forth? All these canals closing. I don't know. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see which ships, all these new ships that are coming online, which ones are going to actually be delivered on time. Because what was it? When my car conked out, when we had that 5-degree weather, I did not have a car for like a few weeks because they were waiting on the parts. So the tariffs going on, the whole stuff is going to take a while. So I would say yes, book all the inaugurals. And you can book them through me. I am a travel agent, so email me at cwc@gmail.com. More than happy to get you situated. Jaretha Parker says, hey, Carlene, C-Suite. Hey, Jaretha, thanks for being here. You were posting about TSA wait times too, Jaretha. And yes, let's see. Paul says the hot spots are, so if you want to partake in the festivities, you can post up at the Swin and Tonic bar, and not Izumi. Izumi's supposed to be wholesome. Izumi in the park. All right. Now the Swim and Tonic bar makes sense because people be in that pool stewing all day and just a yapping. I can totally see it. Now you got me. I would not see Izumi being a pickup spot. I don't know how we got to after hours, but we're here. Nadine says she's doing a carry-on for this trip. Okay, cool. Yeah, so you don't have to worry about checking the luggage, but you still have to be mindful about whatever time the TSA lines open up. Because yeah. Hey, Gina's World. She says, I'm on a flight right now. Charlotte had no TSA, no lines at TSA, And they use she used touchless for the first time. That touchless is a game changer. Yolo says, and the nastiest of JFK's international terminal is gross sitting and waiting. Kristen says a prop is Izumi. Now, see, Paul, that was the one that you pick up. You don't take the swim and tonic proposition. That Izumi proposition means that they got a specialty dining experience. So they got a little, they might, enhance the experience a little bit. Please don't. But our minds just like to wander over here a little bit. So, Get in line says, I'm going to need cruise lines to ignore oil and keep these prices down. And then what happened to that whole, that's still gas though. That I was going to say, Carnival was talking about that liquefied, we're the first LEG ship, liquefied natural gas. Yeah, I haven't been paying attention to any of the cruise costs lately. But I definitely know Amtrak is all the way up because people are looking for options to not get on it. And so for my trip heading to NYC this Saturday, which I'll get to meet a couple of you all on Saturday. Amtrak wants $383. And so no, we are getting, I know y'all, it's gonna be a whole members only vlog situation. I gotta get on Flixbus. Help me. Pray for me, please. Because I was sitting there like, I don't trust myself to drive to New York. And Amtrak was $283. I was like, okay, maybe I'll fly because I have some points. I have some flight credits to use, but I'm like, I don't want to use that for a trip to NYC. So we're going to try the big green bus and see what life is like. I feel like I'm going to hate life, but I didn't want to waste my $150 ticket to see Cats, the Jellicle Ball. So we're committed. Pray, saints. Gina's World says, when it comes to JFK, the different terminals have slightly different rules about when you can go, when you can post up. Yeah. Miss Nadine, thanks to Jay Renee, says, thanks for the information. I have pre-checked, but my flight set to depart at 6 a.m. But thanks for the information, though. Gotcha. Q says, I get car sick. Yes, I get car sick if I'm trying to read in the car or look at my phone too long in the car. I'll get a little nauseous. He says, eating seeds helps. I tried it on cruises and it works. And part of it is a distraction from motion sickness. And the vitamin B6 in them helps prevent it. Noted. Similar when they say, like, if you're ever on like a boat, like an actual like sail, like chewing ice helps with like feelings of nausea. If you're ever like doing a boat excursion, chewing ice, or like a cold compress like to the back of your neck. Let's see. Folks, speaking of Q, what's your favorite cruise ship? Travels, Star is his favorite now, but it was Utopia. Okay, so you like the Royal Caribbean. Gotcha. Hey, Sora, Natalie, and all my friends. All my friends and family come to me for all the supplies and medicines. I'm always prepared for whatever happens. Gotcha. So you are that person. You are the family member that everybody else gets to carry the lighter suitcases because you have it all, helping them out. Yes. They owe you drinks. Let's see. Yours is Cassandra says, my daughter traveled last Thursday with her school from Atlanta and it was packed. Took an hour and a half getting through TSA. Yeah. And I saw somebody that actually know video in Atlanta. So I'll take, like, I know he was like, it was actually that way. But then I also heard the trick was to go through a different gate. Jaretha says, this is, I saw on her post today. She says, yes, the big airport, which is IAH, which is George Bush, right? George Bush International. Lines were out of the door with lines and they had to close it. The agents were there and it got better. Gotcha. Yes, $383 for an Amtrak ticket. I was not participating. They gave up the jet bus. So Travels P&B says the jet bus was so good from NYC to DC. It was the best. Now they only do private. Yeah. I remember seeing like the vlogs on that. Never had a chance to do it. But yeah, I was supposed to do this and book it earlier. Book my Amtrak tickets in advance. And I did it. Yola D says, when you announced the NYC dates, that was the time to buy the Amtrak tickets. tickets are cheaper in advance. I have learned my lesson, but I've never I've never seen that route. I've seen it go up closer to the trip, but I've never seen 383. Like, it's cheaper for me to fly, and I would have flown to New York if it wasn't just a pain in the butt to get from their airports to like the Midtown area. I feel like I would just been using a good chunk of the day trying to get to the downtown area. But yeah, I should have booked that Amtrak a way out, but I didn't. So we'll get to see it with the Flix bus edition. Excuse me. So stay tuned on Saturday. All righty, y'all. It's been fun. A few announcements, and that is, of course, we have the Ultimate Solo Group Cruise, which is happening in June with the Jen Danielle Experience, Sig the Solo Cruiser, and myself. Final payment is coming up if you are going on that one, April 6th, if you are booked through me. So get those monies in. I noticed I have a few people who have to process their payments, so my goal is to do that before I go to bed tonight. But yeah, or you can join in. You just have to be prepared to pay in full. Excuse me. Then after that, talking about good Disneyness, we are doing the Good Government Getaway, Good Gov Getaway. 2026 is October 9th through 11th, 2026. We are doing Epcot Food and Wine Festival, eating, drinking around the world. And yeah, you can scan this one to register, or if you're interested, email me at seewithc@gmail.com. That is going to be the 2 trips for this year. Then, because we like to plan way in advance, we have 2027, which the first trip of 2027 will be the Ultimate Land and Sea, which will be out of New Orleans. We are going to do a couple of days hanging out in New Orleans, Louisiana, and then hopping on Carnival Dream on May 16th to the 20th, heading to Cozumel. So come and bounce with us in New Orleans. With all these lovely creators who will be on board. You can book through any of us, and we will get you situated. After that is probably the cruise I'm looking forward to the most, which is the Greek Owl and Egyptian Nights cruise, which is on Virgin Voyages Scarlet Lady, June 10th to the 20th, 2027. 10 whole nights, but you get 3 countries in. We are hitting up Santorini, Mykonos, Rhodes, Ephesus, Turkey, and then there's an overnight stay in Cairo on the ship. So that is in June 2027. You can maximize Juneteenth holiday to get you 10 whole nights on Virgin Voyages. And last but not least, Norwegian Luna, which is the newest ship that just did its first sailing out of Miami today, is the Good Gov Getaway 2027, which will be out of the East Coast, NYC to Bermuda on Norwegian Luna, October 7th to the 12th, 2027. So email me at seewithc@gmail.com, and I'm here to help you with any of your travel planning needs. So if I do land-based travel planning as well as cruise travel planning, I have some really cool trips that I plan for folks, whether it be getting somebody in the Animal Kingdom Lodge Serengeti room, or I have a client who is going to London and Portugal. And of course, on all these lovely cruise ships, you can just email me at seewithc@gmail.com. I know a lot of those class reunion, family reunion trips are coming up, and you don't want to be the person that everybody's calling. They can call me. Those in my mouth is about to fall off. All right, let's get a few more comments in. Let's see. Q says, I'm currently in VA working. I flew from the Atlanta airport yesterday and it was crazy. So Atlanta is confirmed craziness. People were waiting in the line since midnight. Oh my gosh. That's when you're just kind of like, the trip is not even fun. Or you get there and you're like, I'm exhausted. Yeah, Cassandra says that's horrible. She'll be traveling in May and June. And see, you had me thinking about my life about traveling in April. Might sneak a trip in April. We'll see. And let's see. Q says hopefully things are better by then. And we'll end on the high note with Yellow says good night, everyone, and have a great week. Yes, good night, everyone. Thanks for everyone who popped by. It's C with C. Thanks for chatting with me. Like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. If you want to see me trotting around NYC, tune in to my Instagram this weekend. Have a good night. Bye.